Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we are talking last night's AEW Dynamite. And for some reason, this episode of Dynamite seems to have been a bit of, like an inflection point for many people in the wrestling community. I see a lot of chatter on social media about how AEW seems to be a little bit on the directionless side.
Oh, yes.
And chatter thrown towards one Tony Khan for hyping up these big announcements of his. And I got a treat for us today, Larson. When we get to actually talking about his announcement, I got to dig into my history real quick and double check this and make sure I can find it again. Yeah. But I found a website that has every single huge or important announcement from Tony Khan, and you and I can go through and decide important, not important, a dud
huge,
or a stud.
Not huge. Yes.
Right.
That's
huge
great.
And something negative that rhymes with huge.
Yes.
Right.
What?
Is there anything that rhymes with huge? That's like a negative thing. I don't know. Maybe Chad can come up with something good. Deluge? Well, deluge of like bad stuff, sure.
Yeah, I guess so. It's more of a descriptor than anyways. So with all that in mind, I was surfing through the social medias this morning while I was drinking my coffee and saw this tweet from Wrestle Talk.
Yeah.
And it's a quote from Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio last night.
Right.
I since actually listened to this part of the show, so I get the full context. And there's nothing here out of context.
Look at you. Professional.
I'm trying to be thorough. Trying. I'm trying.
Love it.
So on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer's talking about how and why AEW has cooled off, especially in the context of this conversation was the disappointing ratings for Collision on Saturday. You have Kenny versus MJF for the title. Mm-hmm. And, that segment did pretty well. It got over 500,000, but the rest of the show, meh.
Yeah, meh.
So anyway, this is what Dave had to say. Quote, AEW's in a tough situation. It's got to do something to get hot. It's not really an easy answer. The thing that AEW has to do really is figure out a way to become cool again. Because right now there's so much that is said and written, everything like that makes it seem uncool. A lot of the stuff with the perception that it's like the Tony Khan perception, the rich guy who's doing such a bad job, which really isn't the case. Mm-hmm. The quality of the shows is actually pretty good, although there are things that obviously need improvement. There's no doubt, and there always will be. And the numbers are down from where they were, certainly not as hot as it was.
So I take issue with one thing that he says there. What major
not an easy
issue.
Answer?
No. When he says the quality of the shows is actually pretty good. That's the reason why it's not hot. Because look, I don't know why people are waking up to this now. 8 months ago, you and I had a video, or I had a rant on the show, and then I clipped it and put it on Friendo Club Wrestling.
Yeah,
and it's called AEW is Broken, and we talk about the lack of stories in AEW. Now, maybe people are just catching up. I don't know, but to you and I, it was pretty obvious 8 months ago. We've been talking
about this. Yes,
this goes back to the summer of 2022. When, because late 2021, things were going great for AEW. They had all those great signings. They were the alternative. And then you hit summer 2022. They had some injuries, but also you sort of start noticing that like stories are brought up and dropped a little bit here and there. They're still riding high. They're still sort of in the honeymoon phase of like the CM Punk and all that kind of stuff. But like storylines are brought up and dropped. Characters' motivations become kind of sketchy. And again, I think a lot of people just sort of didn't notice at the time, but this was going on back then, over a year ago. Mm-hmm. And it really started to come to a head when you hear about the backstage stuff, the CM Punk stuff, and there didn't seem to be, and people all along have been talking about the lack of structure in AEW and how wrestlers are given a certain amount of creative freedom. But if you're not the kind of person to pitch stuff to people, you're going to get left by the wayside. And, without a unifying vision, it's just, it wasn't going to work. And we seem to have gotten to the point where last night, as had been predicted by pretty much everybody, Paul Wight shows up. And he's the big partner for Jericho, and he's going to fight Hobbs. Well, if you look at Paul Wight back in 1997, he could split Will Hobbs in half.
He was doing drop kicks off the top rope while in between smoking cigarettes.
He was a specimen, and he's got a career anybody would be ecstatic to have.
Yeah, here's the thing. Guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer easily.
Fame career.
Yeah.
And I'll say this about Paul Wight. He's obviously given his body to this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and I would never dictate how he should end his career. He should end his career the best way he sees fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
He deserves that.
Yeah.
Given the career he's had. The issue is, of many, but it was very noticeable last night, where you have so much AEW TV time dedicated to old, former WWE guys who aren't doing anything interesting. They're on the show because of their name value, but they aren't providing anything interesting creatively to the show. I'm talking about Adam Copeland, talking about Jericho at this point, primarily.
Yeah.
Jericho takes up so much time on the show these days, between promos, between matches. Like Kenny Omega just had like one of the best matches of the. I saw this all over social media after Dynamite, and I agree with it. Kenny Omega just had one of the best matches of the year in the main event of Collision.
Yeah.
Why is he in a tag match? Why has he got to be back in a tag match?
Why is he
in a boring story that is cold?
Why are we here to? Why are we acting like Kota Ibushi means anything in AEW anymore? Because he doesn't. Because they haven't treated him special.
Do you know of Okada's 3 AEW matches? He's lost all of them.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, but yeah. So you know, it goes back. The shows aren't quality. They're not. I don't know how Dave Meltzer can say that with a straight face. What did he wink when he said that?
In terms of production quality, they're professional. They're professionally produced.
So if he's coming at this with the idea that there are still really good matches, like you just said, we had a match of the year contender on Collision. There are always good matches, but dude, that ain't the end all be all.
was really good.
Oh, that was a really fun match. That ain't the end all be all, and that's why they can't. They're struggling to get people in the doors. And it's why the ratings aren't where they probably could be, given the talent that they have there. And it's turning into this WWE 2019, 2018, really where you and I would sit here and say, well, we're here for the talent. Because obviously they're not given a whole lot to run with, but the really good talent will make use of they'll make the most of what they're given. There is one major exception to this, and I believe this guy is given the freedom to do what he wants to do, and he's at the top of the card, and it's MJF. Stuff with the Acclaimed is great. That was great. Him going around backstage, Wardlow coming up to him. You know, I thought that was a really good spot for Wardlow. The MJF stuff is great. He is showing why he's going to be worth whatever money he's going to end up getting early next year, assuming that he actually is going to be, you know, involved in a bidding war between WWE and AEW. He is worth every penny and more.
Oh yeah,
because that stuff. And look, you got to give blame and credit at the same time. Tony Khan, you give him credit for the MJF stuff, I guess, as well, because it's his show, and whatever the creative structure there is what it is. But at the you know, the rest of the programming just isn't very good. It's not compelling, you know?
Right now, there's probably 4 characters on AEW TV that are doing interesting stuff. There's MJF.
Yeah, sure.
Who's doing phenomenal work. And it's not just the week-to-week stories he's telling on the show. It's the progression of the character.
Yeah.
And it's been fascinating. It's been complex. It's been really interesting stuff, and it's been great.
It has been.
And he's the one that's in the most vital, interesting story right now.
Yeah.
But there's also, you got Christian Cage, who's he's stuck in a storyline with Adam Copeland, so it's going to be a bit of a drag.
That's a problem, too. That's a problem. Last night was the first time I saw Christian Cage, and I was like, this isn't terribly compelling, and it's not terribly entertaining. He did. He looked bored. You're right.
He's like, I got to do this. All right, I got to do this. And maybe after this, I'll do something interesting. You got Tony Storm, who's come up with this really fascinating character, but where's the story? The story is that she steals the spotlight from Sheeta. I get it. Sheeta's been 3-time champion, and the last 2 times feels like really quickly, as soon as you become champion again, spotlight's been taken from her. I get it.
Yeah.
Give me more than just commentary mentioning that.
Yeah.
Give me some video packages. Give me something to flesh out the premise of the story. Right now, it's a premise. And then I think Swerve is doing really good stuff.
Yeah, the Swerve
But
Hangman stuff is good.
Ever since, I mean, the stuff at Hangman's house last week was solid.
Yeah, that was good.
But seemingly most everything, save for the house segment, since that initial promo where he confronted him, they haven't been, especially Hangman, hasn't been given a whole lot of opportunities to flesh out what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's just I think that is actually a fairly good, traditionally told pro wrestling story.
It's a very solid, safe, traditionally told wrestling story.
Yeah, look, man, I'll take that. I will take that. If everybody was that, I'd take it. But so much of it is subpar. So much of it isn't up to snuff. So much of it isn't like that. Don Callis is approaching Dan Lambert status with me. I'm over it. Nobody really looks better than they did before they entered the Callis thing, except for maybe Takeshita. But nobody else really comes off as better.
What has Takeshita been doing for the last 2 months?
No, nothing. You're right. Nothing.
It's
got that cool leather jacket, though.
That's it, though.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an issue. It ain't what it used to be. Let's talk about Meltzer's the general premise of that.
Oh yeah, AEW is not seen as cool now because they're focusing on old wrestlers, whereas WWE seems vital because they're telling interesting stories and they're focusing on the talent that they have on hand now.
They've built stars.
The thing we had about WWE 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They don't know how to build stars anymore.
They don't know how to do it. Look at how many people have come alive this year. LA Knight, Dom Mysterio. Hell, I even like Logan Paul as a wrestler now.
Yeah.
Didn't think that would happen, but in terms of his WWE persona, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty on point. But Drew McIntyre, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Rhea Ripley, just an absolute, revelation.
Yeah.
But they're building for the future with NXT, and they are looking to build stars. That's what they're actually getting good at again. And AEW sort of taken, the scraps, and they're not doing the same thing. I was shocked. Because somebody who never, or at least I haven't really noticed, but Brandon Thurston, one of my favorite follows on Twitter.
Oh, great.
Who is generally speaking, and I don't, look at every single one of his tweets, but he's so good at analyzing the business aspect of professional wrestling. I had never seen him editorialized to this degree before.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
And he said this. He said, hyping a mystery announcement and revealing it's a ticket on sale date, even for AEW's biggest show, demonstrates an astonishing disconnection with what fans care about. Who could possibly take seriously the inevitable next heavily hyped major announcement? This, among other things, should raise questions as to whether Tony Khan is creating a working environment where smart people are willing to challenge him on decisions, and if so, whether he's listening. That came out of kind of nowhere with Brandon Thurston. I agree with everything he's saying here.
Same. Yeah,
but
definitely.
even when somebody who is so on target and on point always with their social media, Brandon Thurston, who always talks about the business, they broke Brandon Thurston's AEW broke Brandon Thurston's last night. Or this morning, whenever this was. The second, that was today. It was this morning at 5:17 in the morning. He's probably in the East Coast, though.
Speaking of AEW, relying on older former WWE stars, Ric Flair has officially signed a multi-year deal with AEW.
Did he get a graphic?
He got a press release.
But did he get a
graphic? And his Woo energy drink will become the exclusive energy drink of the promotion.
What's in that? We should do a taste of Prime versus Woo.
Woo. I've never seen Woo anywhere.
I've never seen that. You broke the news to me that Woo was a thing.
I didn't know that until a couple of days ago when they said that he had an energy deal. I didn't know that.
So yeah, the big
Prime
announcement.
At Target these days, I know that.
The huge announcement, of course, was the pre-sale date. You can start buying these things. Hey, let me ask you something about that huge announcement.
Sure.
He said November 1st is the start of the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Is that for you too? I thought it was the day after Thanksgiving. Is Thanksgiving no longer
till after Thanksgiving?
So last year I did it before Thanksgiving, but not much, like a week before Thanksgiving, because I just wanted to get a jump on it. And
then he said at his parents' house the tree's been up since July.
Yeah, that was a weird joke. I don't know what that was about. Maybe something big happened in their house in July.
Maybe they really like Christmas. They would just want to have Christmas year round.
So yeah, that was the important announcement. I don't want to misquote it. It said an important announcement.
Yeah, it wasn't huge. It wasn't a huge announcement. Important.
So later on, we're gonna power rank the important announcements over the years of Tony Khan. But yeah, it is the kind of thing where I don't know what he's if
it's the boy who cried wolf situation. That's what it is.
Yeah,
he's gonna keep hyping up these important announcements, and they're gonna be underwhelming. And then he's gonna have like a really important announcement. Hey, you can watch pay-per-views basically free if you pay $10 a month for Max and get all of AEW's back catalog.
That's
and people
huge.
were like, "Yes, huge. That is a huge important announcement." But he's gonna say Tony Khan's got a huge announcement. People are like, "Oh gosh, here comes Tony Khan, another huge announcement again." And he actually has a huge announcement. It's like, okay, well, I'm conditioned to be underwhelmed by your announcement, so whatever.
Unless like he's just giving us these huge announcements, thinking that when he actually makes a huge announcement, it's going to blow us out of the water. We're expecting, dog shit, and we're going to get, something cooler than dog shit.
Yeah, with basically anything.
It's like, oh my God.
Can't stand dog shit.
Yeah, I
Smells,
I leave it all over the road. It's horrible.
You do. I know you do. You mentioned that before.
It's a real bone of contention between the two of us.
It has. But here's the thing. I'll make this
my favorite. My favorite is whenever I show up to play basketball and Larson's on poop alert. He's like, "Hey, somebody left a poop over here. Do you have a bag?"
It's because I don't want us running after the ball and stepping some shit or the ball to get shit because game over at that point.
No, I know. It's just you got such a great poop detector, man.
I got the poop radar. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here's another reason I have to. I'm compelled to pick up the crap on my street at least. Mm-hmm. I live on a pretty small street. It dead ends at one end. There's
we live
8
in very
houses
different areas.
And so I think there's me and one other house that has a dog.
Yeah.
So if I don't pick up my poop, and I don't see other people's dog poop laying around. If I don't pick up my dog's poop, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm the guy on my street who doesn't pick up dog poop.
Yeah, you should wear that as a badge of honor. Whoa, hold on a second, Larson. Wait, we have a huge announcement. We have a huge announcement right now.
What is that?
We got a sponsor for the show. You want to pay some bills?
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp, Steve. I know I've been saying this for a while, but I'm going to say it again. One of the things that irritates me most about dealing with anxiety, and there's a lot, but it's one of them that irritates me the most. So when I'm in a situation where there's something I want to do, or there's something that I should do, or there's something that I need to do, but this brain inside my head, it starts going. My anxiety, through the roof, and it makes it extremely difficult to get those things done if, this is a massive if sometimes, I get them done at all.
Yeah, man. And I know you know this, but therapy can help figure out what's holding you back so you work for yourself rather than against yourself.
Yes, I know about that. I've been there before. My mid-20s, my anxiety, it got really, really bad. I'm talking really bad. So bad, in fact, that I realized it was getting in the way of me living a happy, productive life, and I needed to go to therapy. It took me a couple tries to find someone I felt comfortable speaking with, but once I did, I was able to learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety. It got me back on the path, becoming a happier, more productive Larson.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
All right, so I guess we can just sort of dive into it.
I'm sure there's be more complaints and criticisms as we go through the show. So,
and by the way, I just want to point this out here. Whenever we have a negative review, kind of anything, this traditionally goes back to like when we were shitting all over WWE.
Yeah.
One comment we get quite often is, "Why don't you just stop reviewing it if you don't like it?" We do not review things specifically because we like them. We review things because this is the Steven Larson Going in Raw WWE and AEW podcast. It's what we do, whether we like it or don't like it. We choose the programs that people watch
Yes.
in the world of pro wrestling to,
Yes.
in large numbers. And then we, as honestly as we can possibly be, critique them, criticize them, try to be entertaining about it, try to be funny about it. We try to provide an analysis in an entertaining fashion of the 4 shows, Raw, SmackDown, Collision, and then Dynamite.
Yes.
We're not going to stop watching something if we don't like it. The only reason we stopped watching NXT is because nobody really, like business-wise for us, didn't really do a lot of numbers when we would review it.
Indeed.
We can't just review the stuff. If it would just be a Succession podcast for a couple weeks, and then it would be a What We Do in the Shadows podcast for a couple weeks.
Andor and a couple. Imagine this. Imagine if someone who's a professional film reviewer just says, "I'm only going to review the films I think I'm going to like."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Guess what? They're not going to be a professional film reviewer for very long.
No, they're not.
Your job is to review movies, not just the ones you think you're going to like.
Right.
So
it's like, I'm
this
going
is
to
our
review.
job.
Yeah.
This is the profession we found ourselves in to watch and review professional wrestling. Here's another thing: it's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It's not that huge of a deal.
That's right. It's not a big deal.
It's not a huge deal.
Like, if this was a Marvel podcast show, then chances are back in 2019, we'd be like, oh my God, this is really cool stuff. And then here in 2023, we'd be like, what the hell is happening right now?
I can't even get through the first episode of Secret Invasion. What's happening?
Yeah.
When's Loki coming back? Because that's actually pretty good.
Oh man, I need to start watching Loki again.
Yeah, I'm like at least an episode behind, maybe 2 at this point.
We got like 3 busy people in this household that all have to be on the same page to watch Loki, and it's infuriating. My second oldest stepkid, Summer.
Can you just watch it yourself, kind of on the sly, and then just
Whoa.
watch it with everybody?
Wow. Oof.
No?
Judas on your mind much? Wow.
No.
That's a big stab in the back. I'm not going to tell Lacey you said that.
That's whatever. I mean, I just was like my wife and I. We have 2 or 3 nights a week. We're like, all right, you watch a show? Sure, we do it.
I know. Like
I don't have to deal with as many variables as you.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables here, man. But I can't go rogue. Oh boy, no way, man, no way.
I don't know, man. I feel like you could do it. You could do it. You're savvy.
Why are you trying to push me into? I'm savvy. I'm good at keeping secrets from my wife. Is that what you're saying? Wow.
Hey, you don't have to say anything about it.
Dude, you're dirty, man. You're dirty.
I could tell. Listen, I'm trying to look out for you. You want to get
Are
caught up
you,
on your
though?
stories. Yes, I am.
You want single Steve? Is that what you want?
No, but I want you to get caught up on your stories so we can talk about them.
Oh man, there are some things more important than that, buddy. Like my wife. Goodness gracious. Anyways, before
have you ever watched? Are you caught up on What We Do in the Shadows yet?
No. I know, dude. I know.
I just
And
want
like
you to
the
watch
other night,
episode 7.
the shitty thing is the other night, like we were, this is what, last night, 2 nights ago, something like that. We were up. We could have popped something that we wanted to watch on. Instead, on Netflix, there's this really bad DB Cooper series, like documentary. I was like, oh, cool, DB Cooper. Let's find out who that was. And then it was just a really shitty documentary we watched for 3 hours. Could have been watching the actual stuff that we wanted to watch, but we didn't. Yeah.
3 hours?
Oh yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. Yeah. How many people we got watching right now? Probably a lot less. 544 people.
Oh,
hit
hi,
that
everybody.
like button. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get more subscribers. Let's go ahead and start the Dynamite review.
Sure, yes.
Maggie
Maggie says, I'm offended for Larson now. I've been waiting for months to talk to you about episode 7 of What We Do in the Shadows.
I know, man.
And you're constantly putting that and me on the back burner.
I know. Does it bother you that I got some priorities in life above, like, you?
But you're just saying that, like this DB Cooper documentary, of no priority, it just pops in front of you. You're like, sure, let's watch this, rather than something that your best friend has been waiting to talk to you about for months.
I feel like I'd rather be jumping out of a plane right now than being in this conversation. Let me tell you what. It's very uncomfortable.
Is something as meaningless as TV programs going to be the end of us, Steve?
It's wouldn't shock me. At this point, wouldn't shock me. So Renee Paquette introduces the show. MJF shows up and says, what's up? She says, so how are you going to find 3 people to team up with? Because tonight you got that big match against Cardblade and all them. And he says, oh, yeah, thanks for
Cardblade.
He says, thanks for shoving that in my face. He says, to answer your question, I've got a list here of the entire roster, and hopefully there's one person on here, well, 3 that aren't completely a-holes. But in the interim, I'd like to get some advice from my brochacho for life on video chat, Adam Cole Bebe. camera widens out. Cole's on the monitor. What does Adam Cole say, Larson?
He says, MJF, they greet each other, and MJF's like, hey, how you doing? Cole says, I'm hanging in there. But you know what makes me happy? You're officially the longest reigning AEW champion of all time. Max, at this point, you're the greatest AEW champion of all time. That's something to be really proud of. The only thing that kills me is that I wish I could be there right now. It feels like the entire world is gunning for you, and I know that feeling all too well. So I do want to at least say this. Max, I think you should consider Samoa Joe's offer, man.
Ooh, Cole giving him some bad advice. Cole's giving him some bad advice, man. So MJF says, I don't know, Adam. Last time I wrestled that guy, I almost broke my neck. But look, I really got to get going. I got to find 3 partners before the main event tonight. And just so you know, I promise you, I'm going to successfully defend our Ring of Honor tag titles at Full Gear. I got this. I'll see you around. So MJF leaves. And then what do we hear off screen?
Adam!
That's right. Roderick Strong shows up with the Kingdom. Says, can you believe Max leaving mid-conversation? You know I'd never do that to you, right? But also, serious question. Are we still pretending that he's obviously not the devil? Like, because he seems like the devil to me. And then Cole just hangs up on him and Strong screams, Adam! And then we get a little, the devil shows up with the glitchy bzzz thing.
Real quick. So as you notice that when MJF said basically no to the Samoa Joe deal, Adam Cole did this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Disappointment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to manipulate from afar, man. Oof,
he is.
okay.
I would not be surprised to see Samoa Joe as MJF's tag partner Full Gear, though.
Yeah, I could see that. Ooh, that'd be interesting. See, this is all good stuff. This is good stuff. This is like, how is this going to end up? How is this going to play out?
Exactly.
You just need that same energy and effort for like the rest of your programming, which is another, 4.5 hours of programming, basically.
I know. It doesn't seem like that huge of a deal. I mean, Meltzer's saying it's he didn't know what the answer is. It's easy.
Yeah,
Telling
it's easy.
Stories for everybody.
Just make better stories. Not like the DB Cooper documentary.
No, more like Loki or What We Do the Shadow, which I'd love to talk to you about. I can't wait.
I know. I've got so much What We Do in the Shadows before I get to episode 7 of the latest season.
Where are you in the latest season?
I'm not. I think I'm in the season before that. I think I still have a couple episodes. You kind of have
to watch
left.
that before you get...
No kidding. I know. I'm sorry.
Never going to happen. No, I understand. I'm kidding with you.
No, I know. You don't have to explain that you're kidding. You know how important that shit is, man. You can't go you can't go rogue on your wife like that.
I know. That's why I'm joking about it. Come on. I would never seriously advocate for that.
You can, however, leave your dog shit on other people's lawns. I'm telling you, man, you should try it.
Not on my street. I can't on my street. Cannot.
What better way to establish your dominance of your street, Larson? There's not that many houses on your street. There's only like 5.
I'm aware of that.
Show them you're the alpha. Poop in their lawn. No,
they're all going to gang up on me.
Not even your dog.
They're all going to show up my door, bang on the door, and say, "You son of a bitch! You're leaving your dog stinky shit at my lawn. He wants you out of this neighborhood." It's no HOA. They can't compel me. They can't
flex on them. That's all you got to do. They come
Rip
at
my shirt off, dogs out.
God damn it!
Get a giant dog tattoo. My dog's tattoo with her underbite on my chest.
Say, listen, you're lucky it's not me shitting on your lawn.
Yeah, I know.
And then you do that.
Dog shit.
Do that Sunday morning. Oh my God.
Do that to the neighbor. I'm pooping on their lawn.
Yeah, man. Hey, what did you think of this first match? It's pretty cool. Orange Cassidy.
It was really good.
Claudio.
It was a really good match. It was really good. Yeah. Claudio was really impressive. He's super strong and stuff. Yeah.
So the entire premise of this match is that he's strong.
He's strong and just throwing Orange Cassidy all over the place.
I feel at a certain point in this match, and I'm not going to dog the match. It was awesome. But at a certain point during the match, I was like, I can't believe anything but a dominant Claudio outcome here. Like, he was just killing Orange Cassidy the entire time, and I get it. Cassidy won with that sneaky sort of crucifix roll-up or whatever it was. And he sneaked out the win. But, man, like all the shit that Claudio was like, negating from what Orange Cassidy was trying. He tries the stunner thing, and he's like, nope, that's not going to happen. Tries something else. Nope, that's not going to happen. Swings him a million years. Get like out of a DDT, just goes into a swing.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was awesome. Claudio was absolutely phenomenal in this match. And Orange Cassidy was too. It takes two to tango. But
as bummed out as I am that we're probably not going to get Danielson Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. It could still happen. Maybe they said he'll be out till the end of the year, so maybe early 2024 he'll be free. But if that means we get Claudio versus Okada, I want to see what they can do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that would be so good.
Give them 25 minutes. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! So after Orange gets the win here by a roll up. He rolls out of the ring and lays on the floor while Mox's music hits. He does his customary walk through the crowd, gets the ring. Orange gets to his feet and rushes in. He's looking for an orange punch. And Mox just pushes him to the mat. Out of midair, just pushes him down. Starts pummeling him with shots. And Claudio, just disappointed by not just the loss, but the nature of the loss. Sneaky roll-up. Is just standing against the ropes. His back's turned to what's happening. So eventually he turns around and security comes to the ring and tries to break that all up. Mox fights them off. Claudio then joins in, tosses guard over the top rope, and Mox just goes back to clobbering Orange, and eventually Claudio pulls him off as Mox is biting Orange's head. And Mox rolls out of the ring and walks backstage.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I love the dynamic between Claudio and Mox too. Sort of pulls him off, and Mox is like, all right, I'm good. It's good stuff. So backstage, this is a good little bit of history here. MJF knocks on the door of Kenny Omega because all the locker rooms are labeled. And then, but instead, Chris Jericho answers. Of course, they got history. They did a dance number together. MJF is like, is Kenny there? And Jericho just smirks and slams the door closed. MJF walks away, and then Wardlow out of nowhere grabs him by the neck, throws him up against the wall, says, "You took everything from me. Now I'm going to take everything from you when you least expect it." He lets MJF go and leaves. And it really sort of comes to MJF just how many enemies he's made in his time in AEW. Slams his clipboard on the ground, picks it up, walks down the corridor. And then the Acclaimed sort of are hiding around a corner. And Caster stops him with an attempt at a scissor. And he says, "Why don't you team with us?" And then MJF looks at the camera, like the Office style, and then leaves. And Bowen says, "Damn it, Max! We were hiding back here for nothing."
Yeah, it was good. Then we got a John Moxley promo. He says, Phoenix sacrifices his body, just put me down for 3 seconds. I can't do a good Mox, sorry. I should have been Mox for Halloween, maybe next year. And Orange Cassidy is there to pick up the scraps. "That was my match, Orange. I showed you respect when no one else would. I let you walk out on your own power in Chicago. Damn well believe me, I did not have to do that. What did you think was going to happen to Orange, huh? You just write me off? You write me off like everyone else did? I'm sick of you. I'm sick of everybody. You know, right now, I'm not doing too good. Maybe this isn't even about you. Maybe you're just the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. Doesn't matter either way at Full Gear. I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life with my bare hands. There's nothing you can do about it."
Yeah, it was a good promo. After that, we had Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony, the Mogul Embassy, versus the Hunk. What?
I get the reason why they had the Hung Bucks beat Gates of Agony and Brian Cage for the 6-man titles. I just don't think it really achieved what they wanted it to achieve.
Did you think it was to add some prestige to the titles?
No, I think it was to try to add heat to the Hangman Swerve story.
Oh.
I mean, the Hung Bucks had like 1 defense, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And then they just won them back. It's like, all right.
I'll be honest, I had completely I knew that they had where did the Hung Bucks win the?
I think it was on Rampage.
Oh, that explains. I was like, was that a Ring of Honor pay-per-view? Okay.
No, the Young Bucks don't wrestle for Ring of Honor shows.
Well, that's why I said pay-per-view. Maybe they're trying to juice the pay-per-view. No, they never show up on Ring of Honor.
No.
So yeah, and then so they used this. So earlier in the day, Prince Nana said, "Hey, we're gonna cash in, or we're gonna do our rematch clause."
Yeah.
And so that's what this is. And then when they had this match on the verge of being won, Hangman Adam Page is loading up with for a buckshot. You hear "Whose house?" And then the crowd's like, "Swerve's house." And sure enough, it was Swerve. And he says, "Matter of fact, last week," he shows up on the stage. He says, "Matter of fact, last week I was at your house." And then Hangman, adhering to the rules of a tag match, tags in Nick, and then he leaves. So I'm done for the day. He rushes up the stage after Swerve. And then Nick basically takes on the Mogul Embassy by himself. Cage drops him with a lariat on the apron, suplexes Nick back into the ring. Matt and Khan throw hands. Toa gets involved. Him and Khan hit him with a double team powerbomb. They throw Nick to Cage. He powerbombs him. Cage follows with a knee. Gates of Agony follow with their finish to get the win, and now they're the 6-man tag champs again.
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier, the Swerve Hangman stuff isn't bad. I don't want to make it seem like it was bad, but it seemed like it got off to such an interesting start.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, because we've seen Swerve do interesting stuff. We've seen Hangman do interesting stuff that's a little outside the box. And I was hoping for more of that. And again, it's not bad. It just seems kind of more on the standard side.
And I could see that. Although I don't know, him going and talking to his baby was kind of not terribly standard. Yeah.
No, but
it's good.
It's fine. I'm not trying to throw shade at it by any stretch of the imagination.
You're shitting all over it like you're going to shit on your neighbor's lawn next Sunday.
Well, no shit at my neighbor's lawn for me personally, and I will pick up my dog's feces too. And I'm not shitting over this. I just had really high hopes. That's what it is. It's a matter of me having high expectations. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah. Backstage, after all that, Swerve and Hangman are seen being separated by security. Back in the ring, Mogul Embassy leave, and Matt Jackson he throws a little hissy fit. He starts
it's more a little one.
Yeah, well, he starts like hitting stuff with chairs, and he gets pretty mad.
He does. So we're backstage again. MJF standing in front of Samoa Joe's locker room. He's trying to bring himself to knock on it. And he can't. Instead, he looks to the side and sees Darby's locker room and kind of goes over there, gets his Sharpie out, takes the little sign off the door that has Darby's name on it, writes emo bitch on it, puts it back on, turns around, the Acclaim's right there. And Caster says, "Pick us, Max." MJF just turns around and walks away.
I feel like he might have had a shot with Darby. I feel like he could have had a shot with Darby. But instead, he took the route of writing emo bitch on his door instead. Yeah. So sometimes you got to sacrifice the greater good for a good joke, I guess is the point there. That's the life lesson there.
I guess so.
I've learned that a lot. After that, oh, God.
Were you really walking into this thinking, I know Adam Copeland's going to spend 5 minutes putting over Tony Schiavone before he says anything?
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Schiavone. Oh, man. Yeah. Immediately when he said that, I was like, oh, this is going to be so mid. This is going to be so boring. God, I just feel bad. It's No Country for Old Men. It's just not for him.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe GCW, maybe? I don't know.
No
good. No deathmatch
NWA.
wering.
Yeah.
NWA and CW, 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're doing cocaine in that show. I don't know if he'd be down with that. He's a rated R superstar, not the.
Well, I mean, I feel like rated R superstar is. Right,
yeah, you can show cocaine in rated R movies, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Goodfellas, etc.
Yeah, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, yeah.
Blow? The whole movie is about cocaine.
What was the Soderbergh one? Traffic,
yeah.
A lot of cocaine in that, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, enough stalling.
Scarface.
So
that's rated R.
Scarface.
Anyways, yeah, he just talks a lot about how Sting got in his face. He respects Sting. He respects Darby. So you want to know if I'm going to be their tag partner before he can answer. Christian comes to the stage with Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. Christian says, Adam, before you give your answer, I just want to paint a little picture for you. I'm going to retire Sting at Full Gear, whether he likes it or not. Also, we haven't seen Darby around lately, and if you have, you may have noticed that he has a gimp arm. A gimp arm that'll
gammy leg.
A gimp arm that'll never be the same after I dumped on those stairs at Wrestle Dream. I don't think I have to remind you or anybody else, Adam, of your neck problems. And I hate for this fairy tale of yours to turn into a nightmare, so I'm going to suggest that you back down for me right now. If you know it's good for you, you'll back down for me right now, or else I'm going to snap your neck. I'm going to snap your neck and leave you to live the rest of your life in a wheelchair undignified. I'm going to leave you to live the rest of your life in a wheelchair, and your kids can wipe the drool away from your face saying, Daddy, you used to be somebody. But I can also see this isn't sinking in, so guys, give him a little preview. So he sends Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus down the ring. Copeland fends him off at first. Christian tries to sneak in, but Copeland turns around, spots him. But while he's having a bit of a face-off, I guess trying to decide whether he's going to attack Christian or not, Luchasaurus lays him out from behind, and then Nick Wayne hits him with a cutter. Nick Wayne gets a couple chairs, bring him in the ring. Christian set up for a concerto. Sting's music hits. He just kind of saunters down to the ring. Nick Wayne tries to intercept him. Sting just hits him, fends him off. And then Darby just sprints right past Sting. Getting in the ring, goes right after Christian. Christian gets the better of it. And it's funny, Edge is standing there or priming in the corner for a spear, letting Darby get his ass kicked by Christian.
Yeah, right.
So he can hit that spear. He hits the spear, grabs the mic, says, "You want to snap my neck? I'm going to beat your ass." "It is on, you stupid little son of a bitch. Sting, you were right. You want a partner of Full Gear. Darby, you want partner of Full Gear. I'm your man." And he shakes their hands.
Not a whole lot of convincing necessary for Adam Cole. Like, I thought this was going to be like a months-long thing where he's like, no, I refuse to hit. Like, he let Christian, beat him up and all over. He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. This is just like a week later. Yeah, I'm going to get you.
I know. It's just one mention of him having a bad neck. If you get in the ring with me, I'm going to hurt you.
That was over the line.
That was over the line.
Crossed the line.
Yeah, I know. I was expecting a lot more. More. Didn't happen.
Nah. You know, Sting shook him the other week. He was like, what are you doing, man? We're partners. We go back a long way.
Sting gets in his face and shakes him, slaps him in the face a couple times. What are you doing?
What do you do? Be a man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably turn too. Like if Sting, I'll be honest with you, if Sting shook me and was like, watch Loki by yourself, be a man. I'd be like, you got it, Stinger. Woo! Exactly. Yeah.
You listen to Sting, but you'll listen to me, huh?
Evidently, yeah. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to tell you. Put some cool face paint on and give me a Stinger splash.
Don't do it. You should be causing problems in your home over TV show, Steve.
No, I would actually consider with what we do in this shadow. I would consider it with that because she's less. And on top of that, it's just her. It's not Summer too.
Yeah, exactly.
So like she is, and also she binged all of like the latest season of Black Mirror the other day without consulting me first, and I was like, this looks really good. It's got Topher Grace one of the episodes, like I like him. Yeah. And then Anthony Mackie I think was in one.
Oh yeah.
Some of these looked really good, and then I was like, well, but she's under the weather, so she has to watch something.
She has to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Those make me a little too anxious, anyways. Black Mirror.
The Black Mirror episodes. Some of them are really good. Some of them are utter trash.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's some they're like, wow, this is really good. Some like, wow, how'd this ever get made? And for me, it was like I kind of gave up on Black Mirror because like there might be one or two good episodes per season. The rest of them I feel like are basically unwatchable for me.
Really? Yeah. What do you think of the robot dog ones? Or the
I didn't even watch that one. My wife told me about that, and I was like,
really?
No, it doesn't sound like I'd be into that one.
Oh, I kind of like that one. It was just robot dog, going trying to find people. It was cool. Yeah. But they should do like a robot dog goes and shits on people's lawn, and then people are like, "Hey, get your dog out!"
The dog has flames coming out of his mouth like a flamethrower.
Get your dog off my lawn! Oh yeah.
All the weapons come out of the dog.
Yeah. Speaking of things that you question how it was made, we're looking to get subscribers here at the Steven Larson Going In Raw Pro Wrestling AEW and WWE podcast. So if you haven't already, do us a solid. Hit that subscribe button and the notify bell so you always get notified when there's new Going In Raw content. Also, we've got a Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. And we got channel memberships available. If you click join on the YouTube, the Friendo Club set up on the Patreon and the channel memberships, same deal, $5 a month, gets you access to our bonus episodes, gets you access to our question threads. Also, the huge predictions challenges that we do every month. Of course, we've got the Saudi Arabia show, the Crown Jewel coming up. Not only is it going to be a charity stream for Doctors Without Borders, it's also going to be part of our predictions bonus challenge where you can get bonus points heading into the big Week of Champions 3, which is Full Gear and Survivor Series. So you can get that by clicking on the join on the youtube.com/Steven Larson. Also, you can get there by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson, signing up for that $5 and up amount. Also, we have right now at this very moment a total of 618 people watching right now.
Today.
And yet, oddly, bizarrely, We only have 159 likes. Now, this is weird because if I'm not mistaken, 616 is a lot more than 159. It means that like 400 and some odd people, well, they're simply not clicking that like button, which is weird. That's really weird to me. Why they would be watching this.
If you're watching show, and I would appreciate, I think if you stick around, you like it.
Right.
Make that like official.
Right.
Hit the like button, please.
Maybe we're on in the background for some people. Maybe we're on while somebody's, doing a work shift or whatever. Take a second away from your dumb job, your soulless profession. Click that like button, and if we're on in the background, come on, like, dude, I don't know, if you got it like us on a smart TV, get the little clicker and do the thing where you hit the like button. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it is.
Like, what are you waiting for? What are you doing? What are you doing out there with your life when you're not hitting the like button? There's a lot of you who haven't done it yet, and it's weird to me.
Apparently, it's irritating, Steve.
If I was Sting, not Steve, if I was Sting, Steve Borden, I would grab you like this, and I'd say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Click the like button.
Please.
Woo!
Please. We'd appreciate it. We'd also appreciate your subscription here on the YouTube. We're trying to get to 891 subs. We're about 653 away currently. How many people you have watching here? 613. Everyone here subbed?
Wow, people dropped out after I started yelling at them. What's that all about?
50 away.
Yeah.
So please, we have a goal. We like to achieve goal by end of the year. Time is a ticking on this goal.
Yeah.
And it would mean a lot. You'd be helping us, please.
Do you guys
while you're clicking buttons, click the subscribe button, please.
Do you guys like impersonations? I could do impersonation. Hey, go ahead and click that subscribe button. This is a good old JR. Click that subscribe button. Do you want an impersonation of a child who loves Cody Rhodes?
People are going to unsubscribe now. For heaven's sake.
Anyways, continuing on with our Dynamite review.
Do we have to talk about this next segment?
Oh, yeah. This is going to be fun.
2.0 taking on Chris Jericho and Kenny
Omega.
No!
Tony Khan's important announcement.
Oh, sorry. I skipped through that. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So we know what the announcement was is the pre-sale for the All-In show.
Yeah.
Desperate grab
in general,
for attention.
on sales December 1st, but you can register for pre-sale, and it's like 4 days before.
Yes, correct. Exactly.
Thank you, Maggie, for the gifted membership.
Oh, thank you, Maggie.
Maggie's
Hopefully Maggie's name will now fill in right here because it says most gifts today, and Maggie's the only person who gifted a membership over here. And so hopefully it'll fill in her name here. If it doesn't, I'll yell at straight. Oh, man, do I have to do some? Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, I got to sign into this thing. Hold on a second. Yeah, hold on a second. So yeah, I've got.
Oh yes, let's do this.
A website here that says it gives us every announcement, every huge or important or big announcement that Tony Khan has made over the years. So we're going to decide which of these were actually worthy of, him announcing this, the hyping up
of huge or important announcement.
The announcement, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I got some paper I can write things on. All right, give them to me.
All right, here we go. Okay, so back on May 17th of this year, Tony Khan said AEW would make a blockbuster announcement. This is a WrestlingJunkie.USA Today. So this is USA Today.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The hotel is your news source of kind of the only option.
Yeah, it's your only option. This is what he said in advance. AEW would make a blockbuster announcement involving an expansion into new programming. It was the announcement for Collision. Was it important, Larson?
I mean, more so than some of the others, yeah.
I would say, yeah, absolutely. A whole new Saturday night show. That one to me is important. Absolutely.
Important. That gets the star. I put the star.
All right. Got a star. Next, April 5th, 1 month earlier, said he would make a huge announcement on the April 5th episode of Dynamite. AEW sold it as very important. The announcement was AEW All In London.
That's kind of a huge deal.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. All right, we're 2 for 2. He's doing well so far. February 22nd, Tony Khan said he had a very important announcement that was something I'm very excited about, and it's great for the company. Turned out to be all-access reality show. That's a meh. I would say no. Not a huge announcement.
Yeah.
April 20th, 2022. Let's see here. AEW. So Tony didn't really say much about this one, but AEW did promote it as a huge announcement. And it was Forbidden Door 2, June 26, Chicago. Wait. Oh, 2022? That was the first Forbidden Door.
Yeah, that's the first Forbidden Door. Yeah, that's kind of a deal.
That's a big deal. That's a big
That's
deal.
a deal.
Okay. All right. March 2nd, 2022.
So
Says
Ring of Honor.
Tony Khan said, I have a big announcement for everyone. You got it. Ring of Honor. That's a big deal.
It seemed like a huge deal at first, but in hindsight, it's not like he's done a whole lot with the Ring of Honor property.
Oh, true. But at the time, it was like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was a deal.
That's
a deal,
interesting. Yeah. February, especially where they were at the time, which was like,
oh,
nowhere.
yeah.
February 9th, 2022. He had been teasing something about a free agent coming through the Forbidden Door and then slamming the door shut, while AEW also said he had a huge announcement for Dynamite, and nobody knows what that actually was. There was no announcement. Dynamite did feature the debut of Keith Lee and appearance by Jay White.
It was the Jay White, because
Okay.
I think it was supposed to be something else and something fell through, and then he's like, "Oh, New Japan, can I borrow Jay White for the evening?"
Okay, so that was good intentions. We can't say whether or not. Okay.
No.
Won't rate that one. October 6, 2021. This is the heyday of AEW. I have a huge announcement that's a long time coming, and it was the introduction of the TBS Championship, the company's second women's title. That's a big deal. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Okay.
I thought there were more, but maybe not. A lot of those seem like very important, Larson.
Yeah. You know, if he had delivered all these announcements in the form of his Impact Wrestling paid ads, I think whether they are huge announcements or not, people would be like, "Oh, okay," well, because at least they're entertaining.
Those were peak Tony Khan.
They really were.
Those were really good. Yeah, those were really good.
That was really good stuff. Anyways, This announcement kind of nothing.
This one, nothing. Yeah.
So then we got 2.0, Daddy Magic, Cool Hand Ange taking on Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega. I wonder who won this match.
Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. That's not
Jericho pinned Cool Hand Ange after a Judas effect. So then Don Callis, who is on commentary with the rest of the Callis family, grabs the mic, comes down the ramp, and says, "I got something to say. I got to give you guys credit. Takeshita destroyed Kenny. Hobbs broke Jericho in two, and you guys are still back. So maybe we need to take this up a notch. Maybe this doesn't get finished in a wrestling ring. Maybe this gets finished on the street. So if you got the guts to face the greatest family in wrestling in 2 weeks in Ontario, California, then step up to the plate, you dummies." And Jericho's like, "Did he just call us dummies, Kenny?" And Kenny takes the mic and says, "It sucks walking around this planet being a dummy, but I hate to be a stupid head," or something like that.
Oh, it's so bad.
He says, "Listen here, numbnuts. You just had the magic word. You want a street fight? None of this matches. It was all about hurting me and hurting Chris. Why? Not for your family. It was all for you. You want a street fight? Yeah, we accept the street fight. We're not going to do it alone. I've got somebody who's engaged in every battle by my side, so trust me. You want to bring your family along? We got an extra spot for Kota Ibushi." And Callis says, "I'm not a dummy, so I know by my math you're still a man short." So Kenny hands the mic to Jericho. And Jericho says, "I look at Hobbs right there, the man who completely annihilated me. I said that Will Hobbs is a big man, but I have a friend who is well." And so it was Paul Wight. It's Paul Wight. His music hits. He comes to the stage, and Kyle Fletcher runs up to him, and Paul Wight just hits him with the KO punch.
So, yeah.
Again, I'm not going to tell Paul Wight how to end his career, but any stretch of the imagination. Personally, unless this street fight ends with Will Hobbs hitting Paul Wight with 10 spine busters and 5 world's strongest slams to beat him, I'm not interested in the outcome.
Is there any chance that because this is like a big tag match?
Well, a street fight, so there's no tags.
Street fight.
It's just a brawl.
Yeah. This isn't unless like you said, unless Hobbs completely wipes the floor with everybody here. It just doesn't do anything.
Takeshi's already pinned Kenny twice, and yet he's in the background with his cool jacket on. He hasn't been doing anything for months.
It looked like it hurts for Paul Wight to stand up.
It does.
When you see him, it's like, oh man. Like you said earlier, it looks like he gave his body to the industry, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was interesting. You were talking about earlier about like, you know, older guys coming into the company and not really doing a lot. And I think of RVD also. And so I remember RVD and Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Super risque.
He
was doing threesomes and everything.
He was doing something that was creatively different.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nostalgia thing. And early on in AEW, when they brought in Sting, part of it was nostalgia, but it felt like, oh, Sting's got something left in the tank and he wants to prove it.
Oh, and Sting is a dude who they actually have done really well with.
Exactly.
Sting's run in AEW has been spectacular.
And then Christian as well, once he turned heel, it's like, oh, Christian's got plenty left in the tank. This isn't a nostalgia thing at this point. So early on in AEW, when they brought the older wrestlers in, they generally found a way to do something interesting with them. When Jake Roberts came in and went up to Cody, the Caesar promo.
Yeah,
that was really good stuff.
That was really good stuff, yeah.
But this seems like now they bring in a older former WWE guy. Hey, rated R superstar.
Yeah.
Go out there and be rated R superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, but I'm sorry, at this point, he's not giving anything. There's nothing new there. There's nothing interesting there.
Yeah.
It's just mid-tempo dad rock is what Edge is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, all the respect in the world to Paul Wight, credible career.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Will Hobbs utterly destroys him in the street fight, I just don't know what this is going to achieve.
Yeah.
Probably what's going to happen is because Callis family's been getting all the wins in this feud. This is the one that Kenny and Jericho and Coda and now Paul Wight are going to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do this. Like, whenever in wrestling, whenever there's like, oh my gosh, this guy who hasn't been around for a long time, he's back. He's going to be the difference maker. Then they win. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, you don't bring a dude back and then he loses as much as you can hope. So after that, we had Jericho and Omega doing an interview in Kenny's locker room. And the Young Bucks are kind of lingering in the background. And Renee asked Kenny and Jericho, how do you guys feel ahead of your street fight? And Jericho says, how I feel is that it's in 2 weeks. The Don Callis family has to face the Golden Jets, but also Kota Ibushi and our new friend, the biggest man in AEW, the biggest man in pro wrestling, Paul Wight. He's our friend, and he'll be there. And then Matt interrupts. He's like, your friend? We're friends. They do the thing. AEW has a history of people being just annoying friends. He says, your friend? We're friends, Kenny, right? Not to be overdramatic, which he's being. There's been enough melodrama in this locker room. They're partially part of that. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at Hangman. What's the point of the Elite getting back together if none of us have each other's back anymore? With that being said, no heat there. My problem is, who invited this prick? Which is actually the first good point he makes.
That's a fair point.
Into our locker room. You forget what this guy did to our father all those years ago? I haven't. What did Jericho do to his dad again? I forget. He beat him up?
He probably hit with the Judas effect or something.
Jericho responds. He says, don't take it out on me because you guys lost your trios title, okay? You weren't good enough tonight. We were. Watch your mouth when you talk to me, both of you. Kenny steps in. He says, look, like Chris, hate Chris. Just think of it as like, enemy of my enemy thing. MPYP. Look, he's aligned with us against Don Callis' family. And then Matt interrupts and says, him and Don are cut from the same cloth, and you know it. He's going to screw you over just like Don did. Hey, enjoy our locker room. Clean up when you're done, okay, guys? Now, when MJF was outside his locker room, I didn't see Young Bucks on there. I saw Kenny Omega.
I know. Didn't say Elite. Didn't say Young Bucks. It said Kenny Omega.
Yep, exactly. So check yourself, Matt Jackson. Not your locker room.
Yeah, to a degree.
It's Kenny by God Omegas.
If it's Kenny's locker room, I guess if Kenny's the one that invited him into his Jericho into his locker room.
Right. Yeah.
You got to take that up with Kenny at that point.
Yep. Anyways,
yeah, I don't see how this is going to help anybody. Next, Willow Nightingale taking on Hikaru Shida. Shida gets the win here.
It was a good match.
It was a good match. So they're trade strikes. Willow hits a pounce, follows with a Death Valley driver, gets a 2 count there. She's looking for a Doctor Bomb, but Shida reverses that into a Hurricane Rana. Willow hits Shida with some clotheslines. Shida rolls her up with a crucifix pin. Willow kicks out. Shida hits a running knee, covers. Willow kicks out of that, and then takes a katana for Shida to get the win. Afterwards, they shake hands, and Tony Storm's music hits. So she walks out to the stage with Luther. She's preaching to the crowd on the stage while Luther walks down the ramp. Well, Shida walks up and walks right past him, and then hits a running knee on Tony on the ramp, and then chases her backstage because she's just constantly annoyed with Tony coming out after she gets her win, defending her title and stealing her spotlight. So the lights go down, come back up. Julia Hart's in the ring behind Willow. Willow's like, all right, I know what's happening now. She turns around. Then somewhat surprisingly, Julia offers her hand, saying, come with me. Sky Blue runs to the ring, gets in Julia's face, and then they talk a little bit, and then Sky Blue turns around to Willow, and you're like, oh, this is when Sky turns on Willow, but nope, she turns around and miss Julia in the face with some blue mist.
Yeah, she has her own mist.
So she has mist powers now, right?
She's got the mist powers, and it's blue mist. I forget what that does. I know there's like every mist is supposed to do something different.
Yeah.
I don't know how often they adhere to that rule, but yeah, this is cool. You know, a bunch of stuff going on in the women's division. Hopefully we can get more matches out of it, but
agreed.
Probably not. Maggie's got a good point. So I guess according to her, Maggie's our official AEW historian, by the way, says Jericho beat Papa Buck in the parking lot at some point. And
I understand why Matt would have an issue with that.
And Maggie says, real talk, if your homie was vibing with the dude that beat the piss out of your pops, we'd have a problem. Yeah, that's a good point.
That is a good point.
You know, but still, like if said homie is like, if that's his approach, you can get out of here with that. You know,
what's the approach you want?
Oh, not with the camera on, not when Jericho's just standing there. You know, hey, dude, why are you hanging out with this guy? Like, you know, he beat the crap out of my dad.
No. The dude that dropped your dad with the parking lot with the Judas effect sitting next to my best friend, I'd be like, dog comes out at that point.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Beef, instant.
Well, then, dude, just no talk, super kick.
Yeah, throw hands. No, I agree.
Okay, I'm with that. Yeah.
No, either you pull friend to a side, be like, hey, what's the deal, or you throw hands. There's nothing in between.
Right. Yeah. Kenny's like, well, what are you doing? He's like, what are you talking about? What am I doing? I'm getting rid of this guy.
Yeah. I mean, you remember what he did to my dad in the parking lot? Remember this?
Yeah. But Kenny's like, yeah, but your dad sucks at music, so. All dads are not created equal, Matt Jackson. Yours is crap. He kind of deserved it. Just didn't want to say that at the time.
Then we had MJF. He's sitting backstage in one of the corridors of the arena. The Acclaim walked up, and Bowens goes, damn it, Max. No one likes you except this guy. He's talking about Caster. So I don't know why you haven't picked us, because everyone loves the Acclaim. And Caster says, we'll be your partners under two conditions. One, you scissor us. Two, you wear what's in this bag. So Caster puts a garbage bag on MJF's lap. He opens it and looks in. He's like, no, I'm never going to tag with you. Never. And the joke's on you. I got one more group on my list.
This was great.
This
was great. And he turns, and there's those sons of bitches, Double J's crew, Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, and they're all, and Jeff Jarrett says, we're here to help, Max.
Oh, so good.
Because they know they're the last resort. It's great.
I know. And he looks at them and looks at the garbage bag he's holding, kind of droops his shoulders and makes the realization, well, he's got to go with the Acclaim now.
I love it. I love that so much. Hey, Max, we're here to help.
But, here's the thing. I understand the Acclaimed are trios champs with Daddy Ass. None of them are singles champions like Double J is.
I know. He's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre champ. I get it.
Texas Chainsaw Deathmatch champ.
I get it. But also, not going to lie, as much as I love those guys, kind of buffoonish, kind of clownish.
They are, absolutely.
Absolutely. He knows, I got to go with the guys who know how to win. And I know Jeff Jarrett knows how to win the Texas Deathmatch, but, it took like 8 guys to put down Eddie Kingston the other day. So
it did. But all of them would be there to help you win this match.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I don't know. You can't trust those guys. And yet, Maggie's got it right.
No, he made the right call anyway.
Satnam's head nod, and Satnam says yes. With that big, deep, weird voice of his, is amazing. It's great.
It was great. So then we got an interview with Roderick Strong in the Kingdom. So Mike Bennett dials the phone for Roddy, calls up Adam Cole, and Roddy goes, Adam. Can you believe Max didn't even attempt to ask us to be his tag partners tonight, especially I've been so nice to him? What a jerk, huh? And Cole says, Roddy, shut up. Hangs up.
Yeah, that was funny. And then we had our main event, Bullet Club Gold, the Bang Bang Gang versus the Acclaimed and MJF. Guns up. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it now. Right there. Okay. Yeah, this was great. because Bullet Club Gold comes out first, the Acclaimed comes out second, and then MJF, a pink Burberry scarf, the Scissor Me Daddy ass shirt, pink trunks, looked like $1 million.
Pink boots.
Pink boots. Great. No, it was this was awesome. This was great. And of course, the entire time, we're all wondering, ooh, is he gonna scissor? Is he gonna scissor? And the finish was so great because the match breaks down. MJF is on the apron. The Acclaim gets laid out. Caster flips out a belly to back from Jay. Leaps to get the hot tag to MJF. Crowd explodes. Jay slides out of the ring as the Guns and Juice rush in. MJF is able to fend them off, and then MJF pursues Jay around the ring. Jay slides in. MJF follows. Austin hits MJF with a chop block. Guns look for a 310 to Yuma. MJF counters with a DDT to Colton. He hits Austin and Juice with a kangaroo kick. Another big pop. Jay slides in, real sneaky behind MJF. Boom! Blade Runner. He pins MJF to get the win. The Guns then lift up MJF. Jay loads up the belt to hit Max with it, to hit MJF with it. The Acclaimed and Billy run to the ring to make the save, or run into the ring to make the save, which leaves Jay and MJF in the ring. Jay rushes to blast MJF with the title, but Caster slides in at the very last second, pushes MJF out of the way. He eats the title shot, so he takes the bullet for MJF. Caster does. And then MJF is able to chase off Jay. Bullet Club Gold flees up the ramp. They still have the title. Bones and Billy are checking on Caster. MJF kneels next to him. He's checking on him. And then Caster just holds up a scissor. And MJF pushes it down. Billy gets in his face. Like, you better fucking go scissor that guy after what he did for you.
Yeah.
And so they all get in the corners. Big old scissor in the middle of the ring. I thought that was really fun. Again, anything MJF touches these days is gold. It's really, really good.
Really good stuff.
Need
really
it for the rest of the show.
They should do everything they can to re-sign him as a talent.
Oh yeah.
But also, as part of the creative team.
As the creative team.
Yeah, as the creative team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to keep MJF in AEW. Tony Khan, that's what I'm telling you. If you want your company to succeed, do everything you can to keep MJF.
Brock Lesnar money.
Yeah.
Tribal Chief money. Not the Tribal Chief setup, but Tribal Chief
Stone
money.
Cold 1998 money adjusted for inflation.
Oh, with the merch and all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what you need. You want to answer some questions, Steve?
Let's answer some questions.
Lord Ziffer says, any chance it's Max Caster in the Devil Mask? After watching last night's show, I cannot shake that it's Caster for some reason. It's Adam Cole.
That's Adam Cole. That's why you don't see him around anymore, because Cole is laid up. He could do those little videos from his phone.
He streams. He knows about technology. He can interrupt the show to get his video.
Right, exactly.
Devil videos played. It's Adam Cole.
He was in the locker with the mask.
Oh wow. Adam Fella has a question. If MJF jumps ship, who are some candidates that could fill his shoes in terms of being a ratings draw?
Look,
I don't know.
It's like anything else. There are plenty of people there, none of whom Tony Khan really knows how to put in that position. MJF kind of put himself in that position. I mean, just impressive performance after impressive performance. And there's lots of, it's just like WWE, like we say with WWE, there's tons of talent, but it's knowing how to use them is the key.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Time More here asked, if you guys were to hype up a major announcement on Going in Raw, what's the most disappointing thing you could announce to us?
Oh man. We're going to start.
Finally watch season 4 and 5 of What We Do in the Shadows.
No, we're going to start reviewing NWA. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Carlos asks, what wrestlers do you think lost the most from a bad grooming decision? Like a haircut, a beard shaving, an unmasking? I'm going to say WCW Rey Mysterio unmasking. That was awful. And then when he got back to WWE, put it right back like Conrad said. We thought that was his whole thing was the mask. Put it back on.
Trying to think of somebody who had like really good long hair and then cut it all off and it just wasn't the same.
I always like Christian a lot more with long hair, but he's fine with short hair. I don't think it's
now I'm so used to short hair. Like
Yeah, right.
Christian now with long hair, it'd be like, dude, you're
Weird.
old. Just cut it off. Yeah.
Dude, you're old. Cut it off.
I don't know. You think about that one. Andre Zimpel has a good question here. Aside from Austin's middle finger or the DX crotch chop, which wrestling taunt would you say is the most disrespectful and insulting?
Oh, wow.
I always love Scott Hall.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. My dad used to do something like that, but he put it under his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would do that. Yeah, those are good ones. Or that's a good one. The time Shawn Michaels came down the ramp. That's in a lot of GIFs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That is so over the top. Like, what the hell, USA Network? You gotta put a clamp down on that, man.
Well, I think they tried. Patrick Kennedy says, if you were MJF, how many Brinks trucks would Tony Khan have to back up to keep you in AEW?
Brock Lesnar money.
Stone Cold 98,
Stone Cold
99
98,
money.
yeah.
With the merch.
Oh wow, yeah, we already did that one. This is good though. This is a bit different than the one that we just did. Chad Knows More says, if you were going to make a major announcement at an Action Coast wrestling event, which by the way, 1 month from today, December 2nd, Resurgence 2, I might be there. Larson won't be there, but there will be all sorts of great wrestling action in Pacheco, California. Yes. Check it out. Should be good. Tickets at Eventbrite. Just put in ACW or maybe Action Coast Wrestling. I forget. If we're going to make a major announcement at an ACW event, how would we underwhelm the crowd?
I got to think of several ways.
Easy. We'd announce that we're going to start wrestling.
Ooh.
That's the reaction would be for the crowd. Oh, are you sure about that?
It's like, aren't you guys old?
You guys are always complaining about aching after playing basketball.
I know. Imagine taking a bump. Well, no, we're not going to take any bumps.
Yeah.
Rest holds. Edward Munoz here says, if Edge is the Pearl Jam of wrestling, is John Cena the Metallica? Early in his career, he amassed a big following, then went through a slump period where fans turned on him. But now that he's in the twilight of his career, that slump period and his whole career are reevaluated, and everyone appreciates him more now. That is not a bad analogy.
I mean, that's a really, really well thought out analogy. Who did that one?
Edward Munoz.
Credit to Edward.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really good. Not going to argue with it. I like it. That's the kind of thought I like in my metaphors, Larson. Oh, wow. Patrick Cheeseman says, who is someone that you want to scissor but doesn't want to scissor you?
Hilton.
Hilton. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. I got to think about that one. Let's see here. I don't think Mr. Dope would scissor me, but I'll scissor him.
Yeah.
I don't think he would scissor me though. Let's see here. Oh wow, AJ says, will we see Paul Wight get a shot at the AEW championship?
No.
Would he get a shot at the oh, Maggie's got it right. She just hit me up. She said Rhea Ripley. Oh man. Could Paul Wight challenge for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre title?
Absolutely not.
No, not really.
No. Eastside Reviews here with the super chat. So are we ever going to get an ACW versus DPW super show?
Oh man, I don't know. They're so far away.
It's a great idea.
Away. No, it's a great idea.
It's an awesome idea.
They're so far away.
Love to do it.
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen if there's something that could be pulled off.
We're still in the early stages. We're like maybe like 10 years from now we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great question. Jonathan Vieira. What rated R movie would describe Adam Copeland right now in AEW?
Wow.
What was that movie Michael Cimino did after Deer Hunter?
Heaven's Gate?
Is that rated R?
I don't know if it's rated R, but
I heard it's boring as hell. I never watched it myself.
I mean, Deer Hunter is a good movie, but it's not easy to get through.
Hold on, not to be confused with The Cult.
No.
Movie. What's a boring R-rated movie?
I'm sure there's plenty of them.
What's the most boring movie you can think of? Most boring. Oh, maybe Godfather 3. Nah, he was never the Godfather.
No. This kind of has to be a sequel, too.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a sequel. Because, like, good stuff early on. Oh, wow. Patrick Cheeseman says Terminator 5. That's not a bad one.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
not
that's
bad.
Good. Any other questions here? Let's see here. Oh, Strive has a good question. So the AEW All-In press release has credits for like 15 wrestlers. MJF is not one of them. Should this be the piece of evidence that he legit hasn't re-signed with AEW?
Or it could just be the evidence that they're considering not, or that they just want the people to think that.
Yeah, I know. I think that it's easy enough to... Like, you can do little things like that to act like he hasn't re-signed. And I honestly, at this point, I used to firmly believe that he had re-signed when he came back, that he had signed an extension on the down low. I honestly don't know at this point. I really don't.
Yeah. Ooh, Ryan Gorman has a good answer. The Hobbit. Those Hobbit movies were dull. At least the one I tried to watch through.
To be fair, I didn't like any. I was bored with pretty much all of them.
No, I wasn't huge on Lord of the Rings, but at least I could appreciate those because they were well made. Like
they were well made.
Like movies. They literally had no script for like some of those films.
I know, yeah. That's crazy. Shooting. That is so crazy.
So,
anyways, all right. So that's going to do it for the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.